Everyone, my name's Noah, your host from ZeldaFollower, giving you more information and news on the topic of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, giving you more hype for this amazing game that's coming out very soon. Tell me if you got it or not, and what do you think about this game? If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and if you didn't, give me constructive criticism, what you didn't like, and it'll help me improve better if you think I have a shot at, just hitting in the YouTube, So just tell me what you guys think about that. Anyways, let's begin. Breath of the Wild is a sequel to The Wind Waker, and it's set after the game's massive flood. Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker is one of the most memorable games in the series. It is not just because of the divisive, cel-shaded look that is very similar to Zelda Breath of the Wild. Almost too much of an epic adventure in scope, The Wind Waker has derided for the vast distances you were forced to traverse by sail, but that ocean in itself looks to be a clue found in Breath of the Wild. From the E3 game demo, gamers are already pointing to a tiny little item available for recipes called rock salt. And the description of the item gives a hint to a previous game. Crystallized salt from the ancient sea commonly used to season meals. Zelda theorists are already looking into this in The Wind Waker, suggesting that the game is set after the massive biblical flood of Hyrule, and that's not the only evidence either. Breath of the Wild already features Koroks, a family of the tiny wood-like creatures with leaves for faces that only popped up in The Wind Waker. Could the little Koroks, which evolved from the childlike, forest-dwelling Kokiri from Ocarina of Time, have survived through the Great Flood? The events of The Wind Waker have emerged in the new world spotted in Breath of the Wild. Who knows? Number 2. You're being guided from the King of Red Lions from TWW. Okay, this one's a bit out of the left field. Some theorists reckon that you're talking to a ship and the sailor in The Wind Waker. The King of Red Lions is back to an actual the old man whispering to you at the start of the Breath of the Wild demo, right? Well, we reckon that the old man talking to you at the start is a demo is from the Wink to the original NES Zelda, where you're gifted a sword by another bearded man. That's very iconic, by the way. We've seen some characters transform into their true incarnations later in some games, and King Daphne's Nohansen Hyrule, aka the controller of the King of Red Lions, could fit the bill, especially if the game does allow for The Wind Waker, of course. Spoiler alert, the king perished at the end of Wind Waker, but after seeing Ganon resurrected so many times, isn't it about a time a good guy was brought back? Number 3. We could be returning to Skyloft. While we could be returning to the following world of Hyrule from The Wind Waker, there are a few theories that reckon from Breath of the Wild takes place in an earlier timeline. Keen fans are eager to point out a few details in the demo that align the game with Skyward Sword, the only Wii exclusive in the series, and this is the first game in the official timeline. Eagle-eyed fans have spotted a similar statue in the Hylia in the new Temple of Time that looks like a massive one that watches over the Skyward Sword's floating island of Skyloft, while some fans have pointed out that there's an island floating in the sky that looks a bit like Skyloft too. Coincidence? Not to Zelda fans, and many love to head back to Skyloft potentially just hundreds of years after the game's setting. Number 4. Breath of the Wild is set in the hero is defeated timeline. If you don't know what we're talking about right now, it's 3 timelines. There is the one that you'll see on your far right, far left, my bad. It's the heroes defeated timeline, and it's just basically an Ocarina of Time. You get split in 3 different universes and 3 different outcomes of the situation. Basically, you'll get you were defeated, and then you would go straight to Majora's Mask, which is just basically a sleep or a dream, some say. And the next one would be sort of like the cel-shaded look. That's like Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass, and possibly Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, not forgetting obviously Wind Waker, which is just an amazing game. But anyways, die-hard Zelda fans are no stranger to the ideal of multiple timelines that occur after the events of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and with the start of Breath of the Wild showing you that Link is waking up, or possibly even being resurrected after a 100-year slumber in the Shrine of Resurrection, it looks like Link was previously slain. And now that there's one timeline that follows that train of thought, Nintendo's Hyrule Historia defines one timeline in which Link canonishly dies, and it's called Hero is Defeated Timeline, and prominently features Ganon, who is eventually sealed away into the Sacred Realm, but he's currently floating around, locked in within the grounds of the Hyrule Castle in the Breath of the Wild as the Calamity Ganon. If the game does not allow indeed follow the Heroes Defeated timeline, it looks like the upcoming title will show us that exactly what happened since Link's defeat in Ocarina of Time, and it looks like the same could be for Hyrule several decades later, as the Temple of Time looks pretty similar too. If not slain in Hero from Ocarina of Time, it could be another Link from later on in the same timeline. The Hyrule Historia states that Link from the past continued his journey into Oracle of Ages / Oracle of Seasons games, and then Link's Awakening, which at the end leaves Link floating in the ocean with his fate unknown. Those sideburns on Link depicted in Breath of the Wild look pretty familiar too. Link has the same burly set of locks in A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, and has access to plenty of combat skills so soon after Awakening. Could it be the same hero? Number 5. Time travel shenanigans. Princess Zelda is guiding Link from the past. Time travel is about common as finding a rupee in your own neighbor's overgrown garden in the Zelda universe. That messy plot device has caused several different timelines to sprout following on Ocarina of Time. Based on early gameplay, it sounds like Princess Zelda is somehow telepathically telling you to wake up at the start of Breath of the Wild before guiding you where to go, and it's not the first time she's had a telepathic link to Link, as seen in A Link to the Past. But where actually is she? Some theorists reckon that she's actually guiding you from the past. A little bit of evidence in the game could suggest that is a fact. Zelda's usual home, Hyrule Castle, is consumed by Calamity Ganon in the Breath of the Wild, while the whole world has fallen into Hyrule into ruin. Could it be that Zelda actually made Link sleep for 100 years, waiting for a time to strike against Ganon where he stands a chance, and is guiding you from the past? This kind of is reminding me of Avatar, that anime series that
that anime belongs in the trash.
Popped up in Nickelodeon or whatever. That was like my first anime, even if it even was. I loved it. I had to say it. It gives me back a lot of memories, and it just really reminds me how Avatar was sleeping for 100 years. I think something like that. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting out of topic here. Well, who knows, but let's be honest, anything's possible in the Zelda series, as Ocarina of Time acted as a pseudo-time machine and could warp you around the whole world before. The voice of Princess Zelda guiding you from the past sounds actually pretty plausible, and frankly too. Who needs Navi now? Here's one that, like, my favorite. The old man could actually be Ganondorf. The old man helping you out in Breath of the Wild seems a little too virtuous for his own good. He's teaching you all these things about the land, giving you items, helping you get from place to place. Doesn't it all seem a little bit too convenient? What does he want in return? Some theorists reckon this old man has a bit of agenda to himself, and that he could actually be in Ganon in disguise, helping you out so that he could eventually get Hyrule Castle. Some fans have pointed out that his nose looks a bit humanoid Ganondorf's, and many Zelda games have used the friendly guide is actually somewhat important in disguise trope. We're calling it the old man is helping you out, so all you can get is the Triforce for himself, and this is nothing new, just like Ocarina of Time, where he tricks you, knowing that he'll end up following like it. Ganon, he's probably stupid, but he's not stupid at the same time. Anyways, the next one, Breath of the Wild, could take place after all of the timelines. Hold on to your empty milk bottles, timeline theorists. What if Breath of the Wild is here to put a whole new continuity mess behind it and start something completely new? Some pundits reckon that Breath of the Wild takes place after all the timelines in some form of reality where the parallel worlds have collapsed and converged into one, explaining why there are several elements from prior games you can see. It makes a lot of things easier for Nintendo going forward too, and it means that the Japanese gaming giant will no longer have to try and slot in any Zelda games into a specific time point. Marvel and DC reboot their universes seemingly every other week, so why not let Link just have a fresh start too? Tell me what you guys think about this video. Let me know in the comment section, and like, subscribe, whatever you can to just help me out. I'm really kind of struggling here. I'm getting a lot of people not liking my content for some reason. I'm really just trying to give the hype, just let the hype out for Legend of Zelda. So tell me what you guys think, and just thank you for those who enjoyed this video. See you next time. I'm Noah.